The following is a pre-recorded show. Welcome to Winning in Retirement with your host, Brian Akers, certified financial planner professional and founder of Akers Financial Group. Now, helping you win in your retirement, here's Brian Akers.
Hello, I'm Brian Akers. Good morning. Welcome to Winning in Retirement. Today, I have certified financial planner practitioner Jeff Akers. He's here with me at the show. He's been in the industry over 20-some years. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning, Brian. How are you today?
I'm pretty good. Just reading your eyes to see if you're awake and ready to go.
I've had my coffee this morning. I'm in good shape.
You know, it's a lot harder to read your eyes through my reading glasses, through your reading glasses to get to your eyes.
I understand that completely as I try to do the same with you.
All right. It's a good thing about getting older is you're getting older. That's a good thing. All right. So today's show is called Winning in Retirement. No matter what age you are, you got to prepare to win in retirement. No one's going to care about your retirement more than you. And so what we do on this radio show is this. We're going to talk about financial planning and then apply it to how people need to think about it in their own financial plan. At Akers Financial Group, what we do is this. We take this financial situation, we call it a financial fingerprint, your unique financial fingerprint, and then we build on that a financial plan. And that's exactly what we build our business on, is helping people with financial plans, your financial plan, our client's financial plan, implementing that plan over a lifetime. But it is a unique financial fingerprint. Jeff, what's your opinion of this financial fingerprint concept?
Well, this is one of those concepts that Brian's been working on a really long time because he's been doing financial planning for over 30 years. And so he's had a lot of experience trying to work through this. But the idea of a financial fingerprint is just your unique situation. We all have an individual fingerprint that I know we're not going to talk about criminal activity or anything, but you have an individual fingerprint, and that's what police use. It's a way to identify folks and separate folks. Well, financially, we have a unique fingerprint. It's unique to us. Nobody else has the same exact situation. And so we go through this process to figure out what your unique fingerprint is.
Right. So we have our website, akersfinancialgroup.com. If you go to our website, you'll see a little bit about a fingerprint process. You'll see a bunch of information on there. You wonder, well, what it is. Well, this show is going to be talking about what it is and then the idea behind it so that you can understand that you need to walk through the evaluation of where you are now and what is your unique financial fingerprint and how to apply it to your future.
Right. And what you'll see on the website, it's got little blurbs, like one or two sentences about the steps in the process, but we're going to kind of flesh that out a little bit today on the show. So you'll hear a little bit more detail today about what it is. But we do encourage you to go to the website, look up the 5-step financial fingerprint part, and just see what it is there as well.
The other thing you can do on the website is under documents is how to get started. And what that means is this. There's information to gather and put together. Because what we do is we want to start with exactly where you are now. No matter what age, what situation you're in, we need to know where you are now. And that's a gathering of information. That information helps us understand the starting point of this financial plan.
That's right. Yesterday, I had a conversation with someone who was calling to see, do I need to see a financial planner? Is there a reason to see one? And so as we started talking about her situation and what she knew about her situation and kind of uncovering what she didn't know about her situation, we're able to work through, all right, this is where we would start. So we want you to gather this information. I'd like you to fill out one questionnaire, and then let's get together and just find that starting point. Finding that starting point is very important, and figuring out what it is that you actually have.
Now, this financial plan is unique. It's individualized. It's put together for you. It's a combination of information on where everything is, then how it works together, and we ultimately come up with a things to do list. This things to do list can be covering a lot of options and topics. Let's play a little game, Jeff. Uh-oh. I'll say a topic it covers, and then you say one. We'll keep going until we run out.
So you're going to say a topic.
Yeah,
okay.
So in the financial plan, things to do list,
right.
One topic is consider a Roth IRA.
Okay, so a Roth IRA is a...
Oh, you don't have to explain it. Just what's another topic?
Oh, you want me to do a topic of my own?
Yeah, back and forth. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
We'll mess with this.
What's your employer-sponsored plan?
Oh, you went there. Estate plan. Do you have an estate plan? Wills, trusts? Do you have those documents? I'd like to see a copy.
Right, and have you protected your family with the right kinds of insurance and the right amounts of insurance?
Do you know where your money is? Do you have investment statements? Can you put them together, actual statements with all the pages so we can see how things are going?
Actual statements almost seems to be a thing of the past now, but that's beside the point. Do you have an emergency fund?
Oh, so you're checking out the bank accounts. I love seeing the bank statements to check out the titling to see if it's joint or the beneficiary is payable on death or not. That's very important information.
And does your titling coordinate with the estate planning that you mentioned earlier?
That's a topic, or are you just expanding on what I said?
A little bit of both.
All right, taxes. We'd love to see the last 3 years' tax returns. And the reason is that if we find something in planning, you can actually go back and amend your last 3 years' return and get a refund back if we find something that would save you money.
I like to know how much debt you have aside from the mortgage, but I like to know what kind of debt there is, what kind of interest rates are you paying, and what do we need to do about it, and how can we take care of it?
Oh, you went there. That was a pretty good one there. I like that one.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to blow that away at this one.
Oh.
What are your goals, short and long-term goals in your financial life?
Wow. And sometimes people come in and they're like, well, this is what I want. And they just know that goal and they're off.
I think I just won with that one.
Yeah, yeah, long-term goals. When you have a plan, you know your starting point, but you got to know where you're going too. And that's where the goals come in. Know where you're headed.
You ever thought about it? Like if you dream about something, it gets in your mind. Then when you start putting it where you write it down and you meet with a planner and put that information together, it actually starts to become a reality. Whatever that goal is, the only way it becomes a reality, if you do set it down as a goal and write it down, being with a financial advisor actually helps you get to that early retirement concept, the idea of actually retiring and being okay. Are you going to be all right financially? How do you know?
And if you're married, do your goals match? You know, how many times have we sat down with someone and one of them says, well, here's my goal. And the other spouse looks at him and says, what? I didn't know about that. So figuring those things out.
Well, we don't require that they match. We just sort of require that they talk about it.
It is required that they both know what the goal is.
Yeah, so that both of them can build the plan together. It doesn't mean you got to do everything together, because one of our normal parts of a retirement plan is a man garage and then another spot in the house for the spouse, you know.
Or the lady wants to take the around the world trips.
And the husband doesn't want to sit home.
That's right. In the man garage.
Oh, it's interesting to negotiate financial planning when it comes to reality, where they're going to spend their money, where they're spending it on. Yeah.
Yes, that is true. Very true.
One of the concepts in planning is, do you really want to move away or be a snowbird? And how are you going to want to do that? When are you going to want to do that? And are you going to rent? You're going to buy? And how are you going to build that? Can you afford 2 houses in your retirement budget? The other piece of building a retirement plan is that retirement budget, knowing where your money is and where it should go to be able to apply to your future. So when we're developing this unique financial fingerprint, it all starts with all of these concepts. And we also need to know, where is income going to come from? The reasons, some people are unique and some are not, and not unique at all, right?
Some are not unique. What?
I was trying to see if you're listening. The not unique part is this. They might have a standard pension. And they're like, oh, I have a pension. Doesn't everybody have a pension? And the reality is, no, they don't.
Right. In fact, most people don't.
And a lot of people are getting told by private companies that your pension's going to end. We're not going to have it any longer. So you got to learn how to deal with those.
Right. It's over, or you can take a lump sum, or you can wait until you're 65 and maybe get something from it.
All right. We just hit 1,000 topics in 3 minutes or 5 minutes. The concept is this. Your financial fingerprint is where we do a financial plan based on your financial life and your family's financial life, trying to plan the future that you would like to have, the future that you need to build to get ready for. No matter what age you are, the earlier you start, the better. I think financial planning adds value now and to your future.
And I think sometimes people get into trouble when they go to work, or they might be at church or wherever. They're around a group of people. They're at a party or something, and they start talking about, well, this is what I do. And so you start thinking, well, should I do that? That's what they're doing. Well, their situation is different than your situation. So I'd encourage you to get advice from a professional, not necessarily from someone around the water cooler, because they're looking at their situation and not yours. And what we do is look at your situation, figure out what's right for you.
At Akers Financial Group, we built a team of advisors, a team of certified financial planner, practitioner, advisors to work with our clients, to be a guide for them in their future. Why is the CFP so important, Jeff?
Well, one of the things that a certified financial planner means, or what that designation means, is that we're a fiduciary. And a fiduciary means that we are required to act in the client's best interest in every situation. Every time that we give advice, we have to give advice that's in the client's best interest. And that's a standard that the CFP designation has had for a long time, but it's just now started to become a popular catchphrase in the financial services industry.
Well, they're trying to make it actually a requirement with suitability, best interest, the client relationship, basically explaining how you work, how you get paid. There's lots of information that's out there that's trying to explain how an advisor or a broker or insurance agent gets paid when they begin their conversation with you.
Right. And all those things are parts of that fiduciary standard, but the CFP designation kind of encompasses all of it. It's a complete fiduciary standard.
Yeah. I've been at CFP 30 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I haven't been one that long.
Seems ancient, right?
Yes, ancient.
No, not that bad.
That was the previous millennium.
Oh, yeah. Of course, you had to go there. Jeff and his numbers. He loves numbers, but one of the things about Jeff, he does have a master's degree in family counseling and marriage, which really comes in when it talks about financial planning.
It's one of those surprising things. You sit down and talk to folks as a counselor. They don't want to tell you anything, but you sit down and we start talking about money, and it's funny how that infects or affects every part of the family.
Absolutely. So the first quarter of our show today, we've been talking about the basics, unique financial fingerprint. That's where we started Akers Financial Group, building your financial plan. The reason I keep using the word your financial plan because it's not already packaged in a box. It's not a little website where you hit up 3 or 4 numbers in 3 seconds, you know your retirement plan. We don't believe it's that easy. We can do pretty colored graphs, but planning is a lot deeper than that, a lot more research, a lot more information, a lot more talking about where you are now and where you need to go. At Akers Financial Group, we're local. We're independent. We don't report to a big company on Wall Street or a big insurance company in Iowa. We have offices in Forest Hill and Lutherville, and we report to you, the client. This is all about your retirement, not about us. It's so easy to begin winning in retirement. Simply do one of 2 things. You can go to our website at akersfinancialgroup.com and you scroll to the schedule a meeting section and let us know you'd like to schedule your free consultation. That's akersfinancialgroup.com, or you can give us a call and leave us a voice message at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. Either way, we'll call you back on Monday to schedule your free in-person Zoom or phone meeting. Go to akersfinancialgroup.com or call us at 833-946-7384 to start planning for your retirement now. What does gardening have to do with your investments? We'll explain in the second quarter.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Hello, I'm Brian Akers from Akers Financial Group, the president and founder of Akers Financial Group. We have developed this show, Winning in Retirement. Today, we have Vice President Jeff Akers to the show. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning again, Brian.
I think I just saw you last quarter.
Yeah, it seems familiar. We're looking at each other over and through our reader glasses.
Yeah. Do you watch the second quarter of games, or is that when you just go disappear?
If I'm watching a game, then I'll watch whatever quarter is on when I'm watching.
That's good. Now, the second quarter of a game, usually high school or football, things like that, you'll see second quarters. In the second quarter, I know when I'm coaching the second quarter, I'm trying to establish tempo, establish rotation, get some subs in the game. We're not subbing out here, Jeff. We're going straight through the second quarter.
Nope, it's just us.
All right, so we're going to start out with this topic, and I don't mean to be mean, but it's going to be a tough one for you. It says, what does gardening have to do with your investments? Jeff, tell me about your gardening experiences.
You're saying I'm not a good gardener.
I don't know if you're a gardener or not. I just thought it'd be interesting to hear your gardening experiences.
Well, I may not be much of a gardener, but my dad is, so I help him to garden. So
okay.
That means, tilling the ground, planting your seeds, watching them grow, keep them weeded, all that good stuff.
Have you ever done flower gardens, like where you actually pull weeds and prune different bushes and trees?
No.
Okay.
No. That's a lot of work.
Okay. Why do you pull weeds, Jeff?
Well, you pull weeds so that the plant you want to grow, the good plant, has space to grow, gets all the nutrients and everything like that, and the weeds aren't stealing from it.
All right. Then why do you trim the good plants? Why do you prune them?
Well, pruning, this one's kind of interesting because I saw a picture one time of a tree that hadn't been pruned for years, And it was a fruit tree, and it just looked like a wound up mess, stuff going every which way, and the fruit didn't have any room to grow on it. And so then there was a picture of it pruned later on, and it was all cleaned up, and the branches were defined, and you knew where things were, and the fruit could grow, could actually prosper on that tree. It was an amazing picture, the two pictures side by side. It was like, they're not even the same tree, but they were.
All right, so the idea is this. What does gardening have to do with your investments? Well, you think about it. If you think about your portfolio, what we do in this unique financial fingerprint, because today's show is your financial fingerprint, is we ask for statements, we put together your portfolio, where is your money invested now, and we look at it. And one of those concepts of the investment portfolio is like buy, sell, hold, or it's like gardening. Which one are the weeds? Which investments are the weeds? What I mean by that is this. Which one should you pull? Which one should you sell right now? No matter what the market's doing, but your stock's in there, I don't want to own that to the future. One of the ways I recommend is this, hey, would you buy that stock right now? And they're like, oh, no way I'd buy that stock right now. Why are you holding it?
Then why own it?
It's going to come back. I bought it a lot higher. It's going to come back. Well, would you buy more? No. Okay, so if today's the day to evaluate everything and you're looking at that garden, yes, you pull the weed. If the investment's a weed, pull it.
Right. Get rid of it. Clean it up.
Clean up your portfolio. Jeff said that the reason you pull weeds is so the stronger ones can have room to grow. And that's exactly right. That room to grow means when you sell something, you then can reallocate and position your portfolio based on a plan, an investment strategy, based on the risk level that you want to take to your future. You might not want to be 100% stock when you're a couple of years away from retirement. Maybe you want to be more in stock if you're all in cash. There is a balance to this that you need to have. In any good garden, you can find lots of different plants. You can find that someone has pruned the good plants to make them stronger. Now, one of the reasons we want to prune investments is the fact that if a great investment you have really takes off, it could be the only investment you have in your portfolio. That's not well diversified, is it, Jeff?
Right. There's no diversification, and there could come a time where that stock or that investment lets you down. And so I like to use the phrase, let's take some of the winnings off the table and use that for something else in order to diversify.
Yeah, so you're planning your investment garden and you're pulling some weeds, you're pruning the good ones, and then you look at, well, what can I do with the new cash I have? Well, we can call it water or fertilizing in my example. I'm not sure how best to use this, but the new money is watering the good plants, putting more money into the good plants, the good investments, dollar cost averaging in whenever they come down 5-10%, buy the dips.
Yeah, I saw that written there. I was like, what is Brian talking about? Watering and fertilizing. But that makes sense.
You haven't watered your investments recently?
Well, I water my 401k every time I contribute to it and fertilize it.
Yeah, and that's just one of the things we do in the 401k plan. We think you ought to buy volatility. Buy the stock side with your cash flow. Because your contributions, if you're buying in a volatile year, you can buy the dips and make a lot of money when the market really straightens itself out and takes off again.
Right, and that's one of those things that we have conversations with clients about. Sometimes the best investment you buy is the one that you bought when the market was down because you got it cheap. You got it on sale. So don't run away. Don't be afraid of volatility when you're putting money into the market. We want to avoid it when we're taking money out, but when we're putting it in, we actually kind of like volatility.
And so we start with this unique financial plan, a financial fingerprint. This is where your money's invested and the why it's invested. And then we evaluate each and every investment based on those criteria to say, well, this one fits, this one doesn't. This one's a weed. Let's yank that out of there. Let's build this side. Let's add in some new plants or new investments to build what you need your portfolio to do. So a sound financial plan is where you can get the information you need to build the portfolio in the right direction. One of the fundamental problems we have is that if we only have investments at work, there's not enough choices at the portfolios that's designed at work to truly diversify the way you need to.
Right. An employer-sponsored plan is going to limit your investment options. And as we get closer to retirement, where we're going to need some money, the way your money should be allocated changes. And so that's where we need to prune some things. They might have done really well, but we need to prune some things and start some new investments that are more appropriate for someone who's entering retirement or in retirement.
When I start talking investments with new clients especially, I like to ask them, I said, well, You want the perfect investment, don't you? They go like, oh, yeah, we want the perfect investment. You want one that's protected, never to lose, right? Oh, yes, I love to have it so it never loses. You want to have full liquidity where you can get to that money anytime you want, right? Absolutely. I want all my money always liquid. And then, of course, you want it to always grow, and you want to be able to beat the market at all times. And like, yeah, that sounds great. That'd be perfect investment. I'm like, you know what? That doesn't exist. You cannot have an investment that gives you growth and protection and 100% liquidity. There's no way to have all three. Now, if someone's trying to sell you something, they might imply that it has all three, but in reality, it will not have all three. Imagine if you want it protected and liquid, what kind of account would that be, Jeff?
So protected and liquid is going to be a money market or an account at the bank.
Exactly, be a bank account. If we wanted liquid and growth, what kind of investments would be liquid and growing?
There we're going to invest in stocks. We're going to give up that protection in order to get the growth.
The growth and ability to trade anytime you want, get out, back out, right?
Yep.
But how about growth and protected on that side of the triangle? What kind of investments do we use for that?
Well, on that, we're giving up some of the liquidity, and that's where we get into fixed annuities, fixed indexed annuities. We can get better growth than we can in like a bank money market kind of thing, but we can also protect our principal, not have the risk of loss in that.
But you give up liquidity to get that guarantee to carry it out further.
Right.
And then we believe strongly in laddering any type of fixed investment that you might do.
Right. And so the answer is we can't get a single perfect investment, but we can create a mix of all three of the things that Brian's just mentioned and invest that way to develop an allocation for you that works.
Yeah, and then so basically what you're designing is that portfolio that fits you perfectly. It's not a perfect portfolio. It's not like perfect practice. There's no such thing. Practice makes perfect. I think practice makes better. But when it happens to your portfolio, what you need to do is design it around what you're comfortable with and what's prudent in your exact situation.
And that's where it's important to keep in mind that what's right for your coworker or your friend isn't necessarily right for you because their situation is different than your situation.
Yeah, whenever someone brings up a hot stock at a party, you say, well, all right, so you made some money on that one? Yep. Do you have your money actually in that stock? And then you ask them, have you ever lost in investing? And see if they tell those stories or not.
Right. Yeah, it's funny how people can tell you about the 20% return, they doubled their money or whatever, but they don't tell you about the times that they lost half their money or all their money and the company went belly up.
Well, it's interesting when you day trade, people that day trade, what will happen is you win, and then you lose. But that one loss was a big one. Mm-hmm. And big losses are hard to make up. One of our hardest things to realize is this. If you have big losses, it takes a long time to catch back up after a big loss. See, we try to invest where we avoid the big losses.
Right. And one example that we use is if you have a loss of 50%, that's a market downturn, 50%, you lost half your money. What return do you need to make in order to get back just to break even? And the answer is 100%.
Right.
Just to get back to break even at that point. So if people want to talk about that 100% they had, but they don't talk about the 50% and the fact that they've just barely broken even.
Yeah, the sad part, when you think about the NASDAQ of like 1999, 2000, when the market, the tech stocks were really high. And then what happened was it went down, and it took almost 13 years to get back to where it was.
Just to break even.
Break even. Then it's gone up a long way since then, but the historic downturn was crazy down, and then it took a long time to build back up.
And when you're retired, you can't afford to have a loss that lasts that long. So that's why we want to have the money you're going to needs to be protected.
Yeah, basically it goes like this. You build your unique financial plan. And so today we're talking about your financial fingerprint. It starts with where you are. The investment side, we look at where the money is, and then we compare it to your goals, your timing, when you're going to use the money, what do you want it to do for you, and your ability to earn money, make money, and then actually retire. And what happens is this, is that what comes up is a possible new allocation of your investments because you might need to make changes to make it work within your plan.
Right. If you've been investing one way your whole life and now it's time to retire, well, we're going to have to make changes because when you're accumulating wealth, your attitude about investing is different than when you're taking distributions from your wealth.
Yeah, the distributions becomes a new part of the plan where you're actually using that money. Really great savers have a hard time using their own money. It's hard to get them, but They're rare, the saver type client.
They are kind of rare, but
What's wonderful is a saver has enough money, and we're trying to give them permission to actually use it. Is a whole nother deal.
yeah, I've had plenty of those kinds of things. Yes, you can do this.
Yeah, absolutely. Remember that the best part of retirement is getting your time back. You decide how to use it. Before retirement, your time is tied up with other commitments, mainly your job. A lot of that goes away at retirement. Your time is now consumed by things you want to do. It's so easy to begin winning in retirement. Simply do one of two things. You can go to our website, akersfinancialgroup.com, check us out there, or you can give us a call. You can call us at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. What we'll do is we'll sit down with you and talk about your financial fingerprint. And we'll do a beginning of our talk and get to know each other to see if we're a good fit to become your financial advisor. So give us a call at 833-946-7384 to begin your retirement now with one of our team of advisors. Do you know where your money is? We'll explain in the second half.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome back. I'm Brian Akers, and here with me today is Jeff Akers. We're both certified financial practitioners from Akers Financial Group. What that means is we are financial advisors, here to advise you on your retirement. When you work with us, it's all about your retirement. It's not really about us or what we want out of the relationship. It's not about us trying to sell you something. It's about us trying to give you the best advice that can then make your best retirement. We're located right here in Maryland, but we work with clients all around the country and all around the world. All right, Jeff Akers, we have the second half. I'm sorry to call him Jeffrey, but he's been my cousin since the day he was born.
Yes.
I am a little older, so some days I slip on the Jeff.
That's okay. My mom used to call me Jeffrey when I was in trouble.
Yeah, Jeffrey, with the middle name. I understand. I think I've heard that. All right, so let's go to this important question. Do you know where your money is? Do you ever have a client, they come in, and you ask them where their money is, and they really don't know?
Right. And these are folks that they haven't been able to find statements. And so they come in and they're like, well, I think I have an account here. Okay, well, what kind of account is that? Is it an IRA, a Roth IRA? I don't know. And so they're just not sure what it is. And then you might see a statement eventually for it, and it turns out that there's a brokerage account, but it has a variable annuity in it or something like that. So there have been plenty of instances where folks have been sold something in the past, but they don't remember what it is.
And so today's show is called Your Financial Fingerprint. And one part of that is gathering information about everything and knowing where the money is, getting statements and checking beneficiaries, titling, understanding if it's Roth, pre-tax, is going to be taxable every year, taxable in retirement, the flexibility, the rules, how to make it all work together for you and your goals.
Right. There's a plan that we're putting into place, and an important part to the plan is knowing where we start. And so we need to know what you have. And one of the examples that I like to use is if you go into a mall, it's a shopping mall, and you wanted to go to a certain store, we'd call that the goal. Brian mentioned goals earlier in the show. You've got a goal that you want to get to, but before you can figure out on that wall map how to get to your goal, you need to find the little spot that says you are here. And that's what we look for, is where you are right now. Once you know where you are, then you can plot a course to get to where you need to be. But without knowing where you are, you're just going to go in circles.
So you've been to a mall?
Yeah, I know it's been a while. Malls are not as popular now. But any place that you go that has those little signs out there with maps on them, you look for the little spot that says you are here.
Yeah. It's a good example. Sorry. It's funny when you're doing a radio show and you get to take a little break in between each quarter and you start talking about things. And so sometimes it's an inside joke. We're sorry about that.
Yeah, well, the 20-year-olds, I know they don't know what a mall is. But
right. The malls have apps now with maps on it, so you can see exactly where you are. And
GPS, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty neat to find where you're at. And
a guy like me is like, there's a map of the mall on my phone. What?
Well, the best thing is my wife has a tracker and knows where I'm sitting while she's shopping.
That is very useful. Very useful indeed.
When you're younger and you wonder why all the older guys are sitting outside the stores, It's learning, it's experience. That's what that comes from. It's totally off the subject, but our subject is your financial fingerprint. It's about your life, you know. When you think about financial planning and goals, you need to take the time and build your plan, no matter what age you are. If you want to reach a goal, write it down. If you want to have all these different things and dreams throughout your life, why not have an advisor that's helping guide you now and all the way through it all?
And as you write down those goals, that can give you an opportunity then to prioritize them, because you might one day wake up and say, oh, this is what I want to do. And then the next day you wake up and there's something else that you want to do. Well, which one is more important? Which one do you want to do first?
Yeah.
So if you write them down, you can prioritize.
Jeff, I have this big question. Does life ever change?
All the time. If life's not changing, then you're not alive anymore.
All right. So if life changes, does the plan need to change with it?
Absolutely. It absolutely has to change. One big change is when you go from working to retired, and that is a tremendous change because, as we talked about before, you're accumulating money, preparing for retirement, and now you're in retirement, and so you're taking distributions out of that. Well, for decades, you've been watching this account grow and get bigger, and you get all excited the bigger it gets, and now you're going to take money out of it? Yeah. And it's like every time before that it went down, you're like, oh, no, it went down. Well, now you're in retirement, you're taking money out of it. It's designed to go down as you take money out of it. So it's a tremendous shift.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going the wrong way. Well, we're using that money. You get a check every month. Oh, that's where it's coming from? It's like, yeah, absolutely. All right. So, Jeff, talking about things change in life, do you think your insurance ever has to change during a lifetime?
Yes, it does. You buy a house, you have a mortgage, that means life insurance. It also means disability insurance. Do you have disability insurance through work? If not, what do you do if you became disabled and you've still got to pay that mortgage? Or you have kids, you get married. These are all changes, good changes, but they're all changes, and it changes what you need, what your needs are financially.
And then when the opposite happens, the kids move out, which does happen, I promise, to everyone out there who might have kids that have stayed too long, that they do move out, and then ultimately the mortgage gets paid off, and you might not need the life insurance that you had during those other more expensive years. That's
right. And there are certain needs, like a mortgage, where you've got a set time, and this is how long I'm going to need this. So you can plan for that, plan around that. The kids, there might be a certain time where you hope they move out, and so you can plan for that. That one needs to be a little more flexible because, kids might not do what you expect, but that's the way it goes.
All right, let's say a client comes in, they're getting ready to enter retirement, and they have enough money to buy one kind of life insurance. What kind of life insurance would you want them to buy?
So it's really going to depend on what the purpose of that life insurance is.
Oh, you mean you got to do a plan first to answer the question?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Got to figure this out, because if it's for a mortgage is the reason they need life insurance, then okay, term is fine.
Yeah.
But there are plenty of other reasons that they might need life insurance, and we might want some permanent insurance.
Yeah. The permanent, long-term care riders, things like that is probably the reason for insurance in retirement years after everything's paid off. There's the idea of planning is to take what's out there throughout the industries, throughout the different products that are out there, and seeing which one fits your goals and your design. But long-term care is something that you need to plan for as you're getting ready to retire, because retirement is those years where you are traveling, enjoying all the free time, and then we sort of aren't as healthy the last few years of life, and we got to plan for that too.
Right. So that's as we get to those stages, there are changes in life. Before we talked about things that we celebrate, this one isn't necessarily one that we celebrate, but it's a change, and it's something that we have to account for. And
Absolutely.
So we need to have a plan in place for every step.
And when people get started with us, they have to gather information. And I think it's the best time of year is usually around when you're doing your taxes. It's the best time of year to be able to gather all the information. Because when you're doing your taxes, you have all your statements, the end of the year statements, you have all of your 1099s, everything like that, and you put it all in a folder. That kind of folder is a great thing to bring to a financial planning meeting.
Taxes can be a great starting point, but I'd encourage you, if it's not tax time and you start thinking about it, then right now is the best time to start gathering stuff up and start your plan.
But a lot of people once a year, after New Year's, as the end of year statements come in, and then January, February, all the tax documents come in. That's a very good time of year to save that information and not get rid of it. We do recommend you keep your 1231 statements for the future so that you can judge where you've been and where it's going. You should open up every envelope and see what's in there. You never know where money's hiding, but it's really good to keep track of it all. In financial planning, gathering the information and putting it all together in a plan is all the life insurance policies, all the ones you've had since you were born, the ones that you have now. You have to take all those, your group benefit plans, bring it all together.
And if you have life insurance that you pay once a year for the premium, well, when you pay that premium, just check the policy. If it was a term policy, how long do you have left? If it's a permanent policy, okay, what's your death benefit, and where is it now?
So the way we work with our clients is this. Our clients all have their own website through us, a secure website where we can exchange information, and we have a vault, a secure vault where clients can upload information into that vault.
Right. It's much more secure than email. We'd much rather use the vault for that security feature. It also, when you're a client, it's got a list of your accounts. So if you want to see where are things, what do I have, you can just click, look, and see everything that you own, at least through us. Mm-hmm. And you can even link things that you have at the bank, or if you have an employer plan or something like that, you can see those too.
All right. So this quarter, the third quarter, has been about, do you know where your money is? That means you got to actually open statements to see where it is. You need to remember all the different jobs you've had. If you moved a lot, you do need to check some of these different states, their lost property section, just to make sure you've collected all the money that you've put in other accounts over the years.
Yeah, we've absolutely had situations like that where somebody moved years and years ago from somewhere, and we're like, well, let's just check your name. And sure enough, they come up. There's some sort of, forfeited property in that state that we can file a claim for.
Yeah, if you change states, change names, all those kind of big changes in life, you do got to make sure that you also change your investments. Now, the reason about changing the investments, that means change the address, change the name on it, clean it up. So when someone comes in financial planning, I had a client recently where they've gotten married about 5 years ago, and the spouse, the wife, she had not changed her name on her 401k yet. And so it was a real simple thing to do. We were able to load a new ID into the 401k website, and they changed the name for her.
Had she changed her beneficiary?
That one, yes. Okay. But not everyone does that.
Right. It's
something where you log in the meeting, right? And we start looking at it, and then you can see in the eyes of the person, like, don't click that beneficiary number. Because when you click it, you see that they never did change beneficiary. And but you fix it right there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the old I forgot.
But every time we're in a meeting with a client, I do go through the detail, the background, the beneficiary, make sure they record it right. If you think about everything in life, you need to review where you are. And that's what a good financial fingerprint does. Because we want you to be prepared for retirement. Because in retirement, the biggest worry of your day should be where to drink your morning cup of coffee, where every day seems like a Saturday, free of stress. Your retirement income investments are taken care of by the team of advisors at Akers Financial Group. This is the future you want. It's not too late. We want to provide you with a peaceful retirement. So easy to begin winning in retirement. You simply do one of two things. Go to our website at akersfinancialgroup.com. You go to our schedule a meeting section and let us know you'd like to schedule your free consultation. That's akersfinancialgroup.com. Or you can give us a call and leave a voice message at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. Either way, we'll call you on Monday to schedule your free in-person, Zoom, or in-person meeting to be able to talk about your financial situation, your financial fingerprint with one of our team of advisors. So go ahead and give us a call, 833-946-7384, to start planning for your retirement now. Do you actually meet with your advisor each year? Let's talk about that in the fourth quarter.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Well, the announcer is welcoming you back, and so am I. I'm Brian Akers, certified financial planner, practitioner from Akers Financial Group. And here with me today is Jeff Akers, and today's show has been Your Financial Fingerprint, talking about the need to understand where you are right now and gathering all that information together and taking a look at your situation. That is called the beginning of financial planning. And that's what this show has been all about. If you missed the first 3 quarters, that's okay. Our website, AkersFinancialGroup.com, it has a tab that says radio. On there will be a recording of our show you can listen to anytime. You can also listen to past shows on that site and get to see information and listen to it. Because you can't see the radio, but you can go there, see the topics, and listen in, and then you can fast forward us or reverse us and get to hear it over and over again, so it's in your mind. But the most important thing you got to remember is our phone number, and that's 833-WIN-RETIRE. You give us a call, we can sit down and go over your exact situation. So our website, AkersFinancialGroup.com, it has webinars, it has radio, it has a tab called About Us. You can go on there and check out the advisors and the team of people we have to help our clients throughout all of this process. Akers Financial Group is built around financial planning for you now and throughout your future. Now, that means that we have layers of CFPs at different ages to be around to help people throughout those years. So today's show is called Your Financial Fingerprint. Here in the fourth quarter, our question is, do you actually meet with your advisor each year? And my question is to you, Jeff, is that important for people to think about?
Absolutely, because one of the steps in the financial fingerprint process and in the planning process are those reviews. We need routine reviews. We've got to see, where you are now. We know where you were a year ago or 6 months ago or last quarter or something, but where are things now? Things can change. I'll talk to someone and, something happened. A child moved away, a child moved back home. All different kinds of things can happen. And so we need to figure out what are those things and how does that affect the plan? Are there changes that need to be made within the plan? So regular reviews are important.
Yeah, an advisor is important. Having your own advisor, someone that's going to work with you, is something that's needed to be added to what's going on in your life. Now, as people are more successful with their finances, typically they have a financial advisor to help them. Now, when you're great at your job, that's a wonderful thing. You're making good money, doing well. Having a financial advisor helps you keep that money, keep that wealth that you're building so that you're going to accomplish those goals that you have. So in the fourth quarter of this show, it's all about your financial fingerprint, but it truly is about what you need and what you should ask for from an advisor. One of those things is do you meet with us every year or more often to go over what's changing in our life? Now, what you'll find is that some people are there to be an advisor, some people are not. And the hardest thing is for you to differentiate that as you get to know the person across the table talking to you.
Right. Sometimes folks are, like Brian said, they're not there to be an advisor. They're there to sell you something, some product. And before the meeting ever started, before they ever saw you, they knew what they were going to sell you. And that's just foreign to me. That's hard to imagine. But it's kind of that attitude of, what's it going to take to put you in this investment today? And that's all they do is figure out, how can I sell this to you? The product should be based on a plan. The plan should not be based on a product. And the plan is based on you.
That's really good information you just said there, Jeff. But the reality is many times the sales side are very persuasive. They have reasons why this is the greatest product ever. And some believe that's really the only product to ever own. I don't believe there is such a thing. I believe in broad diversification. I believe in thorough financial planning. That takes time and effort. It's not something that's done in just a one meeting and done,
Right. Earlier, we talked about the perfect investment, and we said, well, it doesn't exist. So we have to build a portfolio to make it the right portfolio for you. Well, if there's no perfect investment, then that means that whatever is being sold is not a perfect investment. Just by definition, it can't be.
All of your money should not be put in one thing.
That's right.
That's just a fundamental thing. If someone's advising you to put all of your money into one thing, you need to say, whoa, wait a second here.
Yeah, time to get another opinion that's a little more thoughtful, I guess.
All right. So think about it. Do they actually meet every year with you? The reason we meet with our clients once a year, twice a year, depending on what's going on, usually 4 or 5 times during the pre-retirement year, it is this. You got to evaluate where you are, review everything that's going on, and is it all working together? Markets change, tax laws change, we all change, our jobs change. And if we don't get together and talk about it, we might not have that moment to have that great financial review. I know for me, when I sit down with a client at a review, it's where we review them. I get to read through everything that they have, and I really think about their situation and what is the best thing for them. I believe that is exactly what people deserve from an advisor, is someone to think about them and what's going on in their financial life.
Right. And in those reviews, I just like to remind folks that anytime something comes up, even if it's not kind of our regular time to review, they're free to call. We can always set a time to go over something that has happened in their situation because that makes an adjustment to the plan. And so we want to take care of those changes when they happen.
Have you ever had a new client after like second and third meeting comes in and they say, we've never had an advisor do all of this for us. This is not normal based on their experience with multiple different companies.
Yeah, I actually got a referral one time where the folks came in and they said, one of them had a sister who was a client, and they were talking about a meeting that we had. And these folks who just came in, they were like, we've never had a conversation like that with a financial person. We kind of want that. And so that's why they came, was so we could have those kinds of conversations, talk about their life, and actually plan for their future.
Yeah. There's all kinds of clients out there, all kinds of needs that they have. The more sophisticated the client, the more needs they have, I believe. But there are fundamental financial planning needs that people have that need advice. And then as you get more sophisticated, the advice needs to be more and more exacting to that person.
Right. When folks start out young, we just want to get them to develop some good habits. And then that way, as they go through life and they progress, they'll build and accumulate wealth and accumulate a good financial plan so that retirement is kind of easy. I knew a guy in college one time who he actually liked the week of finals. And that's because he studied all the time during the semester. And by the time I got to finals, like, well, this is easy. I've already done all the hard work. And so we'd kind of like that to be your retirement. Where you get to retirement, it's like, well, okay, this is nice. I like this. You
found someone in college that studied all the time?
Well, I'm not going to say any more about that poor fella, but
yeah. Well, the thing is this, is that we all are not perfect when it comes to planning life, planning what's going on. But you need to take a moment of time and sit down with an advisor and go over where you are. You need to know your financial fingerprint. You need to have that talk about your goals and where your money is and what you should be doing. Get that organized and straightened out so that you can go on and do everything else. We do estate planning as if we might die tomorrow. We do investment planning as if we might live forever. We got to design all this and put it all together. It's a very important time to spend so that you can have all the other time for everything else that you want to accomplish in your life.
Right, that idea of live forever. The IRS, they have a life expectancy table. And on that table, when you're 120 years old, they say you've got 2 more years to live.
That's nice.
So that's living forever, man. We got to plan for that, just in case.
We've had a client make it to 107. We haven't had one make 120.
Oh, yeah, 120 is a big number.
But in your financial plan, you do need to design for a longer life expectancy, not just the 82, 84 range, but into the 90s and beyond, especially based on your own family and health situation. So financial planning is what we believe drives a good decision. So if you're thinking about an investment or a product, something to do, the problem is have you done the planning to see what your need is, and do you need something like that product gives you? And does it fit into your budget, into your future, and your long-term plan? That's a very important piece when it comes down to taking a plan and implementing. That's why we recommend meeting every year, is that you're constantly implementing and monitoring where you are.
And the plan leads to the product. Earlier, we were talking a little bit about somebody wants life insurance, and my question was, well, why do they want it? Because the reason they want it is going to determine what direction to go, what to use to accomplish that goal. So your plan, your unique situation is what determines any product that we're going to recommend or any advice that we're going to give.
And when you think about planning, the planning is to help you make it through the most volatile or worst times in your financial life, understanding that your plan's still going to work in the good days and the bad days, putting it all together.
Right. And anytime there's volatility in the market, one of the things that we remind folks of is, if you're retired, all of your money isn't in the market. We've developed an allocation already so that the money that can be volatile is what's going up and down with the market. But the money that we can't afford for it to be volatile, it's not. We've already put it in an investment that protects against that. So we're creating sort of all-weather portfolios. That's
exactly what we're trying to do in the financial planning. And the thing is that clients that work with us need to understand that we're doing a thorough financial plan. It takes time. It's not something that's done quickly or just, here it is. It's just not patterned except for the concept of listening and getting it organized.
Right. We've got some basic ideas that we want to make sure we've got all the bases covered. I'll put it that way. And then the plan is going to change over time. Things are going to happen, and we need to make adjustments as those things happen.
All right, Jeff, we're closing out the show here. Final words on your financial fingerprint.
My personal financial fingerprint? No.
Anybody's.
No. So that evaluation, what we're kind of ending on here, going through and reviewing with a financial advisor is critical. You got to do that at least every year, maybe more.
Today's show has been about your financial fingerprint. I know Jeff won't tell us about his, but your financial fingerprint. I think it's wonderful when people sit down, put it all together, and then they have this breath where, I feel better now. I know that we're okay. We're on track. That only comes through proper, good, long-term financial planning. So the show has been about your financial fingerprint. Understanding at Akers Financial Group, we start with a plan that starts with your unique financial fingerprint. Your fingerprint is an individual like you are, so is your your information, your situation financially is unique. And we got to begin there to build a plan for you and your family's future. Because we want you to be winning in your retirement. So take advantage of the opportunity to begin planning with us at Akers Financial Group. To schedule your free meeting, simply give us a call. You can call us at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. Give us a call, and we'll call you back on Monday to schedule your free in-person, Zoom, or phone meeting with one of our team of advisors. Start planning for your retirement now. Go ahead and visit our website also at AkersFinancialGroup.com, or you can just give us a call at 833-946-7384. Thank you for listening. I'm Brian Akers from Akers Financial Group, and we want you to be winning in retirement.
You've been listening to Winning in Retirement with your host, Brian Akers of Akers Financial Group. Brian Akers of Akers Financial Group is a registered representative offering securities through Kalos Capital Incorporated and investment advisory services through Kalos Management Incorporated. Akers Financial Group is not an affiliate or subsidiary of Kalos Capital or Kalos Management and does not provide tax and legal services. Advice given on winning in retirement is general in nature, and one should seek further advice from their financial advisor, broker, attorney, or tax accountant before investing. Be sure to read each prospectus carefully to understand all the risks associated with each investment.